Look at this, Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like you to know that for a change, this is actually not my fault. It's
It is. What is this formatting that you have here?
you told me you wanted Eloise on at 12:59.
Well, she wants to paint models, so
I know, and I said, "Would you like to be full screen?" And you're like, "Not really, but yes." And I'm like, "I don't know what that means."
I said no.
I was like, "Should we sit by the fireplace?" And you were like, "Yes." And then you were like, "I'd also like to show the models." And I'm like, "I don't know what's happening right now. This is
I
what
don't
you're
know
getting."
what's happening.
Well, what I did want to do, which is exactly what I did do, is make it look like I'm roasting you on the fire, and that's making me
Perfect.
happy.
I'm on the hot seat, apparently.
I kind of like this
Good
format, to be
afternoon, everybody.
honest. It looks
This
like
is the weirdest format you've done so far, but at least my face is normal size, so I'll give you that, Brad.
fine if you're gonna be like that. So,
What? I'm complimenting you.
I mean, I kind of like it, to be honest with you, because when I said I had to fix it instantaneously, I was just like, I don't know if I can, and I made it look like your normal size. Eloise
Yeah.
is normal size, and you're getting set on fire. All of the check,
Perfect.
check.
Perfect.
This is what perfection looks like on Wednesday streams.
Perfection. What are we working on
Ah.
today, anyways?
So Eloise is painting up 20, 30 arcoflagellants.
2020.
20 arcoflagellants. And I have some pieces of terrain that I'll be putting some finishing touches on. But I figure you probably wanted to talk about Army Lists or Wine or the Fallout television series.
Oh, I want to talk about Fallout for sure. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Shogun. But you know what? I'm so confused right now. What are you putting like fucking like whipped cream on your models? What is even happening right now?
So I am trying something new because
Can you hear
do I
her?
have
All right.
normal here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I can hear me in the return, and I'm as loud as Brad, so I should be fine.
Well, that's pretty loud.
So my normal paint scheme, even if very quick, is still too slow for what my patience is. So I am trying something new with
Whipped cream.
shades and contrast paint and things like that.
Oh, I can get behind contrast paint. Did you see my knobs?
I did. You did well, Brad.
I'm excited.
Did you brag on this stream about it?
Have you shown the knobs yet, Brad?
Good question. Have I?
I don't think you have. So
I
You need
think
to brag.
you showed off the one model that you painted, but then now you have 10 models that have been painted. So
no. I painted. I painted 22 models so far.
well, you
Oh,
took a
sure.
picture of 10 knobs, and I
Yeah.
don't think you've shared it. So you
That's
should share it.
You know what? I will share it. Hold please. I will send the thing with the stuff to the thing and the stuff, and then I will do things and stuff. Because I might actually have a Brad painted army by Rocky Top
Next,
or North Carolina or
Oh wow.
one of these
there's
things.
how many orcs do you have in your army?
I think it's like 14.
I think you have way more than 14
I
models in your army.
look, man. I've been wrong. I'll be wrong again. It might be wrong. It might be something different. Hold on. I'll
14 plus or minus 40.
That's close. Close enough. Image orcs. Brad. I'll title this Brad Knobs.
Terrible.
Brad is a knob. Got it.
I mean,
Perfect.
You're kind of right. I'm definitely not a mega knob. It's just, that looks like that would be tough. But this is what I
think it
painted.
would be viable
Oh,
again.
Jesus. Luckily, I barely made it large at all. But that's what I painted.
That is.
That
You got to
is.
finish those bases.
That is. I have. Well, I was going to do that, and I was going to dry brush a little bit. Because I think I've got that technique mastered. Absolutely not. But. And then there is the wine right there. That's how I paint. But
It makes it way more enjoyable, doesn't it?
I've actually been having a lot of fun painting, to be honest with you, because I haven't put there's two things that I've done that I like a lot, which is I don't have any deadlines. I'm just painting to paint. So when it's done, it's done. And the other thing is I know that I suck, and I'm okay with the fact that I suck. And I'm just, as long as it doesn't look illegal, I'm pretty okay with it. But I have used, the Snigs is like walking me through. So this is 6 contrast paints that I just basically assembly line together. And I'm having a good time doing it. I really, I never, ever, hold on, ever thought I would have a good time painting. But I haven't. I just,
So how many bottles of wine have you consumed to get to this far?
Well, I don't know. We've been drinking out of magnums at Snake's house, so it's tough to tell.
Yeah, so to answer your question, KR, so the bottles are prime black, and Eloise is trying to do like a heavy white dry brush because they're all flesh toned. So she's doing a heavier white with was that the Pro Acryl white paint?
It is my favorite white. And it's not
Titanium white.
So what is this again? Besides
it's
whipped
not-
cream?
It's white paint. She's dry brushing white paint on black prime models.
And what are you doing after that? What's the goal?
The goal is to
I'm
get
discriminating against cottage cheese.
that white paint is terrible. The Games Workshop white paint is so awful. It's really bad.
I'm more mesmerized by your nails. That's like a dot colors that I can't really see.
They're holographic. They change shades depending on what kind of light is being reflected on them.
So this is an anti-Brad nail structure?
Yes. Yeah, because they go from green to
Oh,
orange.
hold on, go to the wall because that's the best quote so far. Late to the party, but still earlier than the Tau Codex. Oh!
At this point, it's just an insult to everybody. Remember that time that was only like 2 weeks ago where you're like, oh man, Tao's going to be out before the orcs.
I mean, they are. They were played before the orcs. Thank you very much. I was technically correct. The best kind of correct. So, yeah. Thanks, Dom. So I knew one tournament for sure was breaking in. So I
Just
could be
the
right.
one, because it's totally sets the precedent.
It is. I mean, it's the one I knew about. So that's all that counts. Might as well be everywhere, my friend. Might as well be everywhere.
I don't think that's how any of this works, but
It is. It
I
is in Europe,
so are custodes actually bad?
no. They're well, depends on what your level of bad is. They're worse. No, I mean, here's the thing. 2-up, 4-up is never going to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, when you play custodes, you're like, I'm going to roll through these guys, and then they 4-up life you, and you're just like, I thought custodes were bad, as they're just stuffing you in a garbage can out back. Is the army worse? Yes.
So what makes them worse? As someone who hasn't looked at the book at all.
Besides the fact that they have no soul, they lose a couple of their big dog things. Their damage resistance. They can still put out damage. They're going to be fine-esque. Everybody tells us. I mean, let's think about all the things that are supposed to be bad. World Eaters unplayable, and then everybody went, "Yeah, I'm still just going to play these guys. They're fine." You know what I mean? Things of that nature. We'll have to see what people put on the board. You know what I mean? Everybody's been focused on Tau and orcs, and people haven't really put out new what am I going to be playing list as much as I've seen. Out in the big, I'm sure the custodes groups do. Let's say damage did go up. They have more damage. They have less defensibility. So,
But how are they less defensive? Because before,
fourth in the
they
bank.
had just against mortals, though, correct?
Yeah, it's just you've got a couple different things. You have
Everybody generates models.
yeah, but also true. And we'll see what would happen. We'll see what's damage went up. Yeah, maybe not inherently true story. They have like more. They just have more because they got a codex. You know what I mean? It's just people wanted more, to be honest with you. The thing is that I don't even think custodes are going to be bad. I think that custodes just don't have, they have no soul. They're like gingers.
They
I mean, they
trade their
do
soul
have
for
gingers
boots.
in the book.
Yeah, they don't have the -1 hit Katal. They don't have the -1 damage strat, and they don't have the minus attack strat or Kataj. You know what I mean? So you know your durability, your total defensiveness went down, but I don't know if it's not enough not to make them a decent army. Yeah, exactly. No 4+ versus mortal wounds. So and well, it's not even just mortal wounds. You know what I mean? So they have less durability by far. Do they have enough damage to make up for that? I don't know, to be honest with you, because I haven't really messed around with custodes enough or played against custodes enough in testing yet. Because I've been doing a ton of Tau, a ton of orcs, and looking at certain other armies. The army that I think is terrifying and probably will be terrifying to custodes because there are no 4+ versus mortals is Thousand Suns. I think Thousand Suns are just disgusting. Eloise, move your hands forward more.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can see the tip of your brush and the tip of the model as opposed to anything that's going on. It looks like it looks like you're trying to look through the window to see what's happening. Hey guys, what's going on? But
I'm glad that I'm not the only one who has difficulty
No.
being on camera for the hobby stream.
Brandon's always
No.
doing that. What are you working on? I can't tell you. It's a secret. But
My
Yeah.
one top secret project that I was going to work on this weekend fell through. So
David, 100%. Turning off invulns is arguably the most dangerous mechanic in the game. 100%. I mean, the Twist of Fate is just bonkersville. You know what I mean? You just go, hey, I've got a rerollable +1 to wound flamers. You have a 2-up save? Not anymore. Prepare to be dead. So
wait, don't they just turn off armor saves, not invulnerable
they
saves?
turn on armor saves, but I'm just saying against a lot of things. How about you remember your Land Raider that doesn't have an invuln save? It's real bummed when you say it doesn't have a save. So it's there's a lot of things in the Thousands. I think Thousand Suns are terrifying. I'm always afraid playing Thousand Suns. The only thing that makes Thousand Suns very dealable is one, it's a super complex army, so there's very few people that are really good at it, and two, as soon as it starts losing pieces, it becomes very mortal. It goes from Superman to mortal pretty Kryptonite-esque time. So the
and what do you need to focus on to make sure that they lose their snowball effect? I don't know how to phrase it.
yeah,
You kill the characters.
You kill the characters. You kill a couple of units. Anybody that you basically ask first off, you ask your opponent, do you have the ability to move outside the movement phase? Can you redeploy? You ask them all the standard questions, but then
Yeah.
you look at their cabal and go, you look at their list preferably, especially if they have it on the GW app, it'll just tell you, and look at who generates cabal points, and then you try to pick up great swaths. What you can't do is nickel and dime. You'll lose the game if you try to shenanigans Thousand Suns. If the good Thousand Suns player will uppy downy, will double move and shit like that, it's really hard to be more tricksy than the Thousand Suns are. You have to just punch them. You have to wait your turn and then punch them right in the face. The T-Suns AdMech matchup is the most scuffed thing ever. I can see that. What is the top 3 mechanics in the game? Fights first is always going to be super good. Uppy Downy is just bonkersville. Anybody that can just get picked up in your opponent's turn and then put back down, that is that is 1 and 2.
Poor Vespid.
Yeah. It's such a good mechanic, and it puts your opponent, anything that basically makes your opponent ask questions all the time is a big deal, because it constantly puts them on their back foot and makes them have decide where they're going to move, how they're boxing out, and then
You say that, but why aren't Grey Knights winning more?
they have been going up and up and up.
Is it because of Nemesis Dread Knights, or is it because of
No, I
those
think
mechanics?
it's both, but I think that you can do the same thing with Silver Tide. I mean, the fact that I'm actually more afraid of the list in singles now that they got, dude, Purgation squads, strike squads, interceptors all went down in points.
Yep.
You know what I mean? those guys all have 2-up saves, man. Unless you have the proper damage, to do something about that. That can be a hell of an army, man, especially late game. And the thing is it's people are understanding and learning how to play these things better and better over time, because a lot of people just try to jump on people with Dread Knights and everything like that. Same thing with Hypercrypt, when they were just trying to, I'm going to go do damage. You know what I mean? Those armies are terrifying as the game goes on. Everybody can box out your deep strikes, turns 1, turn 2, possibly 3. Man, nobody has enough shit left on turns 4 and 5 to stop you from going wherever the fuck you want to go. You know what I mean? Especially with the option for a 3-inch deep strike, with both of those codexes have, it's bonkersville, dude. That's when you start stealing objectives, killing trash. You know what I mean? You can just redo the game. The other thing that's super nasty about it is you can lead people into traps. You put too much of your force going into the bottom right, and all of a sudden your opponent's like, deuces, chump, I'm out of here, and just leaves. And
so how are orcs going to deal with Grit Knights? Because don't they have Armor of Contempt strat? Or whatever it's called?
They're going to put a volume of attacks in and make 3-ups, to be honest with you.
Even with Armor of Contempt?
With Armor of Contempt, it goes down to a 3 from a 2, because you're going to be AP2 with claws. Well, I mean, it depends what you're running, to be honest with you. Because the Green Tide will be only AP1, so they'll be taking 2-up saves, but all the characters will be at least AP2. That's one of the reasons I've been back and forth on Gaz and Orcs, is just the access to AP3. You know what I mean? So, because he does rock face shit. So it's a big deal on that.
You catch up with chat. So where are the Kroot? The Kroot are in a box behind me.
We'll go to the wall real quick. Good to play the animated dust. 100%, by the way. Thousand Suns, there's such a chasm versus somebody that's not very experienced versus somebody that's really good with that army. It's night and day. KR, how did the GW figure not touching Wraiths was the right move? Wraiths damage output is trash. I think that's how. Because while they're very durable, there are ways to get around that. And the fact is they just don't do a ton. They hit on 4s. Obviously, if they're doing Canoptic, you can get the Power Matrix for full rerolls. So, I don't know, to be honest with you. I still think that they're not OP'd.
They're really durable.
They're really durable. However,
they're
can.
Annoying.
It also
they can
feels.
take an entire army of shooting, Brad.
Yes and no, because the problem. It also depends what you have. Because if you snipe out the Technomancers, they lose their Finn Pain, and he's actually pretty easy to kill. Because he doesn't have the same save. So you can just be like, hey, I'm going to fight that dude and just beat the shit out of him. And then they just don't have Finn Pain. And once they don't have Finn Pain, they're living on 4-up life because they have a 3-up, 4-up. So even any AP is going to put them in their 4-up. And guys with just a 4-up save are just going to go away.
So do you think that justifies a build that has precision?
Yeah,
Or-
the Orc, the Armor Contempt, yeah, it's a shooting strat. And he's in the house. Why aren't we talking about Tyrant Guard and Civilization Swarm? I'm going to leave those alone for right now. No one got more beat up than Tyrant Guard. Those guys bother me. Revenant Titan picks up a unit if you snipe the tech now. the Revenant Titan coming at a brisk 1,100 point cost. You know, it's something easy. You just slide a Revenant in if you need. Mike.
I do have to give props to Michael. He went 0 wins, 5 losses at the St. Louis GT with the Revenant Titan. Good job, buddy. You're doing the best.
When you take 60% of your army as one model, it's tough. I mean, he's a boss, though. What is he? He's brought a Revenant Titan, 3 Astraeuses, 6 Land Raiders. That kid's a wild man.
I think because he's tall, he likes tall units, and because you're short, you like trash pandas.
That is true. I do love me some trash pandas. The people that are close to the ground love our trash pandas. Also, when we say Mike's
And the
tall,
people
you're
who are
acting like
high
he's
like big boys.
I like the fact that you said tall, like he was just like he's like 6'1" or something. You know, he's tall, like he's 11 feet tall.
No, he's 7'11".
My bad. 8 Land Raiders. My bad. My bad.
It was 8 Land Raiders and an Ancient because of points.
Trend said it get better. But
Yeah, Mike is Sasquatch tall. Like if Mike was in the woods with just being himself, like they would say he was Bigfoot. That's how tall he is.
that picture from ATC with me wearing the overalls still might be one of my favorite pictures of all time. Good times.
That was a pretty good one.
Did you hear Eloise?
With the
Did you hear?
cowboy hat.
Oh god, it's fantastic. Did you hear Brandon's pitch to me for where I'm staying at ATC this year?
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell it to the peeps. So Brandon goes, "Where you staying? Are you gonna stay at the house that's gonna try hard, or do you want to have fun?" I go,
I mean,
tough to
am I
argue with
wrong?
that. Does the command
Am I wrong though?
does the command rhino still exist for Ultramarines? I don't think so.
No, it's a Legends.
Yeah,
not
I
a
thought
one.
that got Legends like 2 times ago.
And a Legends Cronus too. So no
Which is
Cronus.
bullshit too. That guy's awesome.
Apparently, there's no such thing as tank commanders anymore in 40K.
When they don't say
Long
that.
strike.
Long strike. Also, you have to remember
Long Strike also went to Legends.
Long Strike's not Legends.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Long Strikes can never be
Our
Legend.
team took.
There- At Adepticon, we had Long Strike's retirement party. We passed out invitations to everybody.
I,
When we were
ref-
pouring one out to Cyclonic Ion Blasters and Long Strike.
I refuse to believe that Long Strike with Legends because he's awesome sauce.
He went the same way as a Badrock.
You know what? Still too soon for me with Badrock. Dirty Badrock and the boys will never go away. By the way, I am taking 2 flash kits in my Bully Boys list. And I'm going to
So
make...
have you figured out your list for the upcoming events?
I think so. I'm gonna play 2 Gretchen, 2 Storm Boys, 2 10-man knobs. It might be 2 10-5-5. And then I'm bringing 3 5s of Mega Knobs, Gazgul, a Big Mech in Mega Armor, War Boss in Mega Armor, and what the hell else? I feel like there's something else, man. 2 flash kits, 3 trucks. The knobs and one of the Mega Knobs go in trucks. One of the Mega Knobs goes with Gazgul, and the Big Mech is going to deep strike with the teleport enhancement because he gives them a 4-up invuln against shooting, so I can basically rapid ingress and be all up in your grill. Brad Rook and the boys, yes, 100%. Oh, Pask was nuts. Because remember, Pask could go in different tanks, couldn't he?
Various Lehman Russes, but I think everyone always took him in the one with the Punisher cannon.
Oh, that because he was nuts.
What?
He gave Dev wounds. Cool.
Isn't Lemon Rusk a man?
Lehman Russ is a man, and then they named a tank after it.
Which is so weird
Okay,
because
so when you say can go into several Lemon Russes, we are talking
Oh.
about the tank.
he's going all up in there.
Okay.
I think Past was earlier than this edition, though, Brad. He hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah, but he was badass.
He was.
He was a motherfucker.
So you were saying the 3 best game mechanics were pick up and drop, fight first, and what was the third one?
Oh, love it. God. Kenneth Smith in the 490 super chat. You know who is not Legends and won't be due to actually being important? Corbulu.
That dude's going to Legends. Isn't he a Finecast model currently?
I demand that they still haven't played this game, by the way. Kenneth and Lyle have not played the Blood Angels on Blood Angels with Corbulu on one side and no Corbulu on the other side. And it's upsetting me. That is an Arco you see.
There's 20 of them. We also have an Immolator too. So we have to buy tickets for Rocky Top.
I did get the other Valley told me that you need to get your tickets, bro.
Yeah, he told you specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Because he sent me a thing and I sent him that I was going and then I was staying with you and going with you. And he's like, well, you better get a ticket. They're running out.
They are running out. They only have like 5 tickets left, so I should.
So why don't you do something
I bought a
about
ticket
that?
last night.
Huh?
You
I
can't
didn't buy anything last night.
you can't trust this guy.
Oops. You told me to wait, and then I found out they only had 5 tickets left.
So
It must be a miscommunication.
no, you gotta beat him with a stick. It's important to beat him with the stick.
Michael, if you want to stay at our house and you go to Rocky Top, that's okay. You can stay on our couch. I think you'll fit.
I want to see you put him on a love seat. I think
Michael's really tall. I actually don't know if he will fit on the couch. Like, we have a large sectional too.
I mean, there's also the chance that I will always just go to sleep where I end up going to sleep. I frequently just go somewhere. Where's Brad? I have no idea. Let's go to the wall real quick.
Well, so Brad, we do have dog beds. They are big enough for you to lay down, and they're under the table. So if you find yourself drunk and you're crawling on the floor, just go underneath the gaming table and you'll find a dog bed. You'll be fine.
With a dog,
Yeah.
which is even better.
The dogs will cuddle you.
The dogs are friendly as shit. Your dogs are pretty awesome.
Under every table in this house, we have a dog bed.
Yeah.
So just crawl.
So I love everything about this. I do have
There's-
tickets, and I'm excited about that too.
All right, so go to the wall.
Andy, we're planning to counter our future green, dusty, and living mechanical overloads. We have so many things. What should we make sure we have on our list to handle them? There's a big deal right now in your list. You have to ask yourself, do I have enough ability to kill Horde? Do I have enough ability to kill 2-up armor save and lots of them? Your Custodes, your Grey Knights, your Meganons, things of that nature, which means that I need to have a high amount of decent AP shots. So you need volume of shots for Horde, you need volume of good AP shots for the 2 armor save guys. And then you need your standard, I need to be able to take care of Redeemers and Lancers and it's just a dog. You have to be able to take care of that. So there's 3 separate things you need to take care of: hard targets, basically infantry hard targets, and Horde. And what I usually do is I usually skew my armies to have a volume of medium strength, medium AP weaponry, and that usually kind of catches all. Now, that's a big deal, is hopefully you have, and I skewed to this also, if you have the ability for lethal hits might be the best keyword in the game, because it lets you get away with just rolling a lot of dice, even if they're not the preferred strength that you want. So that's a big thing. And devastating wounds is obviously amazing too, but like for a different reason than that. Because if you give somebody enough saves, they will just fail saves. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's never going to happen when people just 4 up your life into your face. Your life flashes before your eyes. But that's what,
Statistically, it will happen.
You know, it's a good strategy. Also knowing your stat lines.
I haven't done that for a long time. Always screw yourself out of attacks and it'll be hilarious later. Or models.
So many Arcoflagellants.
You know, depending on what you bring, I'll go into David's here. If you don't have the ability to get around -1 damage or half damage, it's real tough. Man, anybody that has auras of ignore modifiers is a big deal right now, because you can just smoke through a lot of shit. The Avatar, the Catans, and things like that, planes, it is pretty gross. That's why you saw like a bunch of people bringing the Silent King and Morty in the team tournaments, because they just set them next to a firing base and just go, modifiers are for bums. Would you then call your dog, call the dogs your woofin? I already call my woofin the woofin. Okay, I love it. The Meganobs aren't doing shit if you wrap their truck with Arcos and Zephyr. 100%. That's one of the biggest things I have to tell anybody is you don't have to kill everything. You just, move blocking is so much more valuable than killing shit most of the time. just make them stay places, especially when you're looking at units that just don't fly. You're like, just stand there, go fuck yourself, do nothing and appreciate it. Oh, KR, it's too soon. KR goes, I go, Silent King, Morty, Trajan. Oh, never mind.
It's okay. You could join the club with the Tau who can't ignore modifiers either.
That is true. Look at Bait Celestine. I love that we're talking about passing your opponent a ton of saves. Then the left webcam cuts to 20 Arcos. Yep. And also, you should have put Catherine right next to that. 20 Arcos getting lethal hits. Did anybody say?
Oh, Catherine's in the box still.
You're also cutting yourself off again. Don't let us see. We want to see the mojo.
Guess
She is.
who's
She's-
next?
Yes. Seems a precedent that the new codices are moving away from ignore modifiers and fights first. Some of them, yeah. And the thing is that I guess, tell you the truth, a lot of those effects are very feels bads. And GW, the guy in person, to be honest with you, this isn't like thinking that they do stuff. They've said before that they care more about feels bads than they do about shit that's OP. They would rather have something that's just straight busted than they would have something that feels bad to play against. So
Have they talked about the Eldar Codex?
Well, yeah. No, they found that out. But I'm saying that that's something that they said before. I've talked to multiple of the GW guys, and the thing is a lot of the GW guys know the problems. It's just counteracting the problems. You know what I mean? One of my favorites ever is Stu had one of my favorite things. This isn't a big deal on him. I'm actually painting him in a good light here. But he told me, he's like, what do we do with armies that overperform in the hands of the best people, but are winning at 50% for everybody else? He's like, do I nerf that army and then make it so that everyone else feels shitty now playing that army? Or do I let the regular people perform at 50% and the top elite tables ruin people at their tables? You know what I mean? He's like, that's a tough choice. You know what I mean? Because if you nerf it, most of the time the people that were at the top will just go to a different army. You know what I mean? And that means the people that are, especially people that are one faction specialist, or that's their love of their game, and they were only performing at 50%, when you fuck over their army and it's now winning at 38% and life sucks for them. The other person, the person that was in the top table is like, I just don't play that anymore. I'll just play this. You know what I mean? And while the other person's like, you screwed my army over, man. What the hell? So it is difficult to make decisions on that. So while they make questionable decisions sometimes, a lot of times they make very difficult decisions. So, and do I have the answer?
I'm not jealous.
No, exactly.
No matter what they do, they will make the wrong decision and people are going to hate.
Yeah. What about feels boring? Yeah.
Outriders, Riff.
No, he's like DA Custodes, AdMech, and Knights. And here's the thing about that. I agree. That's 100% on that. That's true. Oath wasn't nerfed because it was OP. It just felt bad. 100%. But I really do agree with what Andy said on that, because I don't think that Custodes, for instance, the Custodes book and even the Dark Ages book, I don't think either one of them are super bad. I just think that they are super boring. Whether orcs are super good or whether Tau's super good, the armies themselves feel fun. They feel full of life. They feel full of options that you can play, and it's exciting to make an army your own. You know what I mean? I want to show up and play the same roster that everybody else is playing. You're like, hey, I'm playing against Chaos. Well, of course you're playing this. You know what I mean? I'm playing this. Of course you're playing this. It feels like when you're putting Tau and Orcs down right now, that you could be playing against fucking anything. You know what I mean? And that's exciting. It's just, to play against and play with. So if they have more codices that come out like Tau and Orc, and I don't even mean power level, but fun level, flavor level, customizable level, I think the game will continue to be better and better.
And that goes back to what you guys were saying when the Tau book thing came out, where you could not agree on which detachment was the best.
Yeah, and that's a big. I love that, because when you can't decide what faction's the best, it means that you're going to get tons of internal balance. Evan, I actually think that you're right on that. AdMech actually has some build diversity, 100%. The only thing with AdMech is it's hard to get build diversity because the army's so goddamn expensive. Really.
I think Sisters of Battle are going to run into the same issue when they get their codex, because we're looking at Eloise's sister army, because she's going to be taking it to Rocky Top in a couple of weeks. And last edition, the amount of points that she had, they've all gone down. So now she has to paint even more models to be able to field a 2,000 point army. But the army does less damage than it did before. And it's very strange. Like, I just don't know how you fix Sisters to give them that build diversity when your entire army costs the price of a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on that. The thing is that I think you have to give good detachment bonuses and good detachment negatives. You know what I mean? You have to have reasons to take certain things, and it has to be that this isn't super OP. I'm going to go to the wall real quick, because I also want to know what the fuck you're doing. Okay, I was like, what is Brandon doing? Looks like really cool poster decals. Super tier 8. I mean, right now it does look like your poor wife is modeling, trying to get everything done for the tournament, and you're like scrapbooking or something. I don't know what you're doing.
I am. So, in anticipation of Rocky Top, I wanted to finish up my Rocky Top terrain set. And one of the steps is to just put some more like detail and like color on the model. So I'm cutting up some little posters that I'll save for future projects, but I'll be putting it on the walls and on the floor just to make it look more visually appealing. So
nice. Let me go to the wall here. Exile. Been running Harlequins and Falcons. They're incredible. I think you'd enjoy them. You know what? I've been looking at more and more Eldar builds, and if I wasn't bringing Orcs right now, I would have delved way more into it. I think that Eldar are finally in a place that's not toxic, but also it's showing you how deep the goddamn index is and how many options that you actually have. So I'm actually excited for Eldar right now, because I think you're finally going to be seeing cool Eldar. I think you saw bullshit Eldar for so long. Now people are jumping outside of the box. They're making things happen. You know, Falcons with Harlequins. There's so many good options now, and nothing is so OP, like I was saying before, where you brought this because this was obviously better than everything else. Keith, I will be doing Deal With It again. Sean's been like super busy with life, so I've been doing other things, but I will be going back to that. Howling Banshee meta incoming. Who knows?
no.
I wish.
I mean, if you gave
We
him
do have like 30 of them.
so dude, I have so many. If you gave him Lance, yes, I think you can actually see them. Because if they had Lance and rerolls, yes. But strength 4 weapons that just go, are you dead? No, I wasn't even 100% aware you were attacking me. Until you told me, I wasn't sure that you were hitting me with anything.
I wish you're coming back, because our Howling Banshees are dark.
Dark Templar?
Dark.
Oh,
No,
they're all
Templar.
Protoss themed. I know that.
Yeah, dark Templar.
Well, that took a while to get to.
Hey,
All of the things, some of the stuff. How about the Dork Reaper meta? Only if it goes to the Dork Tower. They say they get full rerolls to wound out of the Falcon, so yes. Also,
Did
yes,
Eloise-
why do they
Did
not
Eloise
have a
play
mirror?
Sisters of Battle or Eldar this for Rocky Top?
Eldar.
Oh.
Just make it pretty.
sisters.
Sisters is such a good army. It just has like 800 decisions to be made all the time.
But that's my playstyle.
If I wanted to play an army that wasn't quite throwing it away, but is definitely not good, what would you suggest? That's tough because there's so many armies that are in the middle right now. And the armies that are in the bottom just aren't even played. I didn't have that many lists that were up. We were talking. Brandon and I were talking about that. I didn't see a lot of lists up in the Discord, so I wanted to do a lot of lists at the time.
Brad just deleted my Outrider list. He didn't even want to look at it.
Okay, I wasn't gonna fix the triple Gorkanaut, double Morkanaut, and Brandon's only Outrider list. Okay, I'd like to do a couple more.
You know, it'd be really cool if we had Tau points, so I can, make a Tau list with accurate points.
The two things that I'm doing next is I'm going to go over which I can't even talk. I'm going to go over the detachments for orcs and say which ones I like, which ones I don't like.
And when are you doing that?
I think that I'm going to do that on Tuesday. I'm going to put it up because I'm going to put up the full week's worth of shit. I'm trying to not die and I'm trying to be awesome.
And we are going to stream my 1980s, whatever decade, montage with a bandana in the hair so that I can be ready for Rock It Up.
Rising up, back on the streets.
The 80s was the montage period, but they still have montages even till today. Just not as recognizable.
Brad not dying.
No, I want the power.
Oh, if you want the power, that's definitely the 80s, early 90s.
I need to put a bandana in my hair.
You got to rock that out. You just have to have Arnold and Stallone movies playing on repeat in the background.
Am I too high now? Yes, I am too high.
Oh,
Okay.
do you guys know? Let me tell you, I'm going to drop some knowledge on you. I want you to know that Aha Take On Me was the best video of the 80s. That's science right there.
Take on me.
That is a pretty good.
On
That is
Me.
a pretty good video.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I was just watching it the other day.
That's why it's the best video of the 80s. Science. Can't be
That's
stopped.
the one where it goes in the comic.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
It's amazing. 80s were amazing. I was alive for all of them. It was fantastic.
You were like 75 years old back then.
I graduated high school.
Really?
Yes, I cannot believe I actually agree with Brad on the stake. Hoorah! Boom, boom, boom.
All right, I'm trying to think of other like music videos that were pretty good back then.
You're just gonna go with Twisted Sister?
No,
I want to rock.
I mean it's a good song, but video's not that good. What about
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler?
Oh my god, that video is so weird. Watch that video. Seriously.
I have.
It's the song is fantastic. Watch the video. So much weird shit's happening. There's like a dude like cooking pasta or something in the background. It's just fucking weird shit. Like people like looking off into the distance, a dude's just hanging from a tree. You're like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? People are just making
Ninjas
weird.
Taking over the table.
I want to play music all the time at the thing. KR, I can see that as a good list. Oh, dude. Yeah, exactly, because I was 20 in 1980, best decade. 100% KR. I really do think the 80s is the best decade. Economy was booming. Music was awesome. Sports were fantastic.
So question for you, Brad.
Hit me.
Because you said that the best, what's the word? Mechanics are fight first and up and down and whatever the third was. Fighters have neither nor, and they have no mortal protection. Why are they good?
They have tons of trash for each cheap, and they have lethal hits, which is probably the third best mechanic. And you have a lot of it. The thing is that anytime that you can trade up and anytime that you can just score points, it's a big thing. Things like Crusaders, the things that you could put nonsense out and make people come do something. Like a 20, well, it's not 35, but like a unit of Crusaders behind a wall, making somebody take a real unit that then you kill, and you're basically losing nothing. And the fact that you have cheater dice with miracle dice is a big deal because you can just make things happen. You can auto make charges and things of that nature. You take dice out of the equation so you can make like wild charges happen. You can steal objectives in the back. They also have a couple really great units. Things like Seraphim, being able to shoot and scoot. Shoot and scoot might be in my top 3. Shoot and scoot is a big deal because you can come in from deep strike, then move 6. Any unit that can do that is so fantastic because they can take objectives away, they can move block, they can just hide after they shoot. All of these things are so good. And just having the ability to MSU, exactly, David, MSU scoring is such a big deal because no matter what's happening, you can play your own game effectively because you can always score points. Sisters just score secondaries so bonkers well that you're always in a game because you can get just tabled and go, cool, I scored a 93, you scored a 92, sweet, I win, goodbye. You know, there's a big deal on that just to be able to do that. When you're playing straight elite armies, if the thing doesn't work, they don't have a backup plan. It's always the thing, you know? So sisters can kind of just blend into things and they have so many options. Now, that is also one of their detriments is they have so many options that you might fuck up your options. You know what I mean? But you do have the chance to play against anything. The problem is that your game plan is 27 things strong. You know what I mean? So you have to make decisions all the time. That's why they're strong. That's why you also see them winning very, very well, but you also see them getting smoked because if you make a bunch of bad decisions, you're immediately punished. Some armies just can be, some armies
Smoosh you.
yeah, they're, well, it's just you're T3 with 1 wound all over the place. So when you screw something up, when you play the Thousand Suns and they drop mortal wounds on you, you pick up a whole squad. You know what I mean? So like there's other armies that have much more durability, or at least the ability to make more mistakes. When sisters start making mistakes, shit happens.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all
So
of the things.
based on the fact that Rocky Top is player place terrain, is Eldar or Sisters the best choice? Because I feel like you can make a pretty good shooting list with Sisters of Battle.
You know, this is your fault. Anna says, I was wondering why I couldn't see the chat Brad was interacting with, and I realized I was chatting on the Still Frosty side. You got to watch both. The other thing is that...
And I appreciate you. Thank you for helping support my channel.
And I also don't have... I should have a chat IO, so I can see both chats. That's my fault. We'll put that running again. Apparently scoring is good for winning games. Yeah, it's pretty good. You know, it's funny because, you know, it's made as a joke, but like, I can't tell you the amount of games I watch where people just try to kill their opponent and they just don't score enough points. You know, you can beat the shit out of your opponent and just lose, like, badly too. Oh man, KR, you're preaching to the choir. I want them to change the mission secondaries ASAP. Time to shake it up. And it feels like we've been in this set of missions for like forever.
I mean, the entire edition so far, so just shy of a year.
I mean, it's not that long, but man, it feels longer. Because, I guess everybody's also...
a lot has happened.
Yeah. It's also because everybody's using them now. So for forever, we used to have, you know, tournaments making up their own missions and doing different things. And now everybody just kind of just straight up uses the missions. So there's no, you know, break like you used to have kind of thing.
On the Adepticon team is...
Yeah, I'm trying to think of last time I played at something weird, except for Adepticon. It's been a hot minute.
And the Adepticon wasn't even really that weird. They just put in some team stuff in the missions. You know what I mean? So, and the thing is I'm actually for that. I love having a universal way to play. But if everybody's universally using the same stuff, you do have to change it a little bit more. Yeah, 100%. Miss the 6-month books for sure.
But so what would you change if you had to introduce new secondaries?
You do secondaries for sure. It's just
no, but what would you change? Like, what would you introduce? What would you take away? What would you modify?
What would I take away? What I modify? I want a little bit more interaction. I also, well, a couple basic things. One, you should be able to dump secondaries. On turn 1, you shouldn't give ridiculous secondaries. They should just recycle through. Like, capture enemy outpost if they keep it. it can't be a turn one thing because it's just stupid. The other thing is that you should be able to throw away, like, bring it down. If they don't have a bring it down target, it should just get tossed. You know what I mean? It's just silly. So if you can't score something, it should just be recycled. I think that we should be able to recycle a little bit easier. And then I like a couple more secondaries that make you interact harder. You know what I mean? The things like investigate signals I kind of hate because it's pointless, but it also actually puts you in a bad situation in the first place. So it rewards certain armies. But I'd like to see more. I don't want to see more just straight kill secondaries, but I would like to see more things that require you to do more things. Because, and the thing is, and this will be super unpopular, but I would get rid of fixed. I hate fixed. Because you can find what your army does that has nothing to do with your opponent's army and just take that. And I mean, you see people taking, things like deploy and behind and or cleanse or something way more often than you see somebody take bring it down and like assassinate. Bring it down, assassinate's fine. It makes you have to do something. Your opponent can plan against it. I don't like when your opponent, has the option of just not playing the game. And that's what I do, to be honest with you. I try to manipulate it all the time to make sure I can play my game without you being able to interact with me. But I think that it shouldn't be as easy as it is right now.
When you play, do you play tacticals or fixed?
I play tacticals most of the time. If I play fixed, it's because somebody has something like wildly easy to do. So
I feel like every time I play fixed, I end up losing.
Well, the thing is people can counter you with fixed. The Euros play fixed quite a bit, but they almost always play teleport behind or teleport cleanse. And you can do that if your army's set up for that. It also depends on the mission type. You know what I mean? Because if you are playing like board quarters, I'll just box you out. You'll never get there. You know what I mean? But Evan 100% Gambit. Can Gambits be killed? It's just why. Yes. Gambits were a great idea that were terribly put into play, because Gambits are supposed to be because you're losing, you get a chance, but the Gambit basically says that you have to be crushing your opponent for 2 of the 3 of them. You know what I mean? Because it's what the ones be in the middle, the others be in combat with people. And if I have enough people that are doing either one of those 2 things, I'm already winning. Why the fuck am I using a Gambit? You know what I mean? So, and the other one's just ridiculous. You're just like, put some dudes in the corner, roll an 11, get a 30. You're like, yeah, I'm probably not. That seems less than optimal for. I mean, I guess that's a Gambit. It's not going to work out very often, but hell. But
I'm trying to see if we have any other skin color.
That's the thing, and the thing is that David, I would go with a different on that. He goes, they should allow us to pick 12 secondaries out of their 16 cards and shuffle. I think that you should be able to make a bigger deck and take a few out. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't hate something like a sideboard type thing, but if you could build, manipulate your deck a little bit, it would be fantastic. But I think they need more cards at that point in time. And then the thing is that I would like to see. I'd like to see more ability to take things in game to manipulate that also. Like it would be cool to see enhancements that say you can recycle a card, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Make it part of the game, because it already is part of the game.
This would just happen.
I cannot say out loud.
Okay.
I too want a bigger deck.
Well then. Things went down. All of the things.
Just keep painting.
Some of the stuff.
So here's a fun fact, Brad. Eloise is off for the next 4 weeks.
Hells yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I feel like we're going to see the painting of 2 new armies in the next 4 weeks.
I'm just going to send the orcs down right now.
One.
No problem. You'll be receiving the rest of my orcs in the mail.
I think there's another brown contrast paint.
Yeah, I'm trying Argrass Earthshade.
Yeah, That's true, KR. He goes, it's not part of the ace game. Thank you for that saying it's a good idea. I just,
Oh, you know what?
I like
There's a
interact.
pink one.
Hmm?
Use a pink or a purple, and then that'll be the undertone when you dry brush their beiges.
You just say when you dry brush their face?
No, so Eloise is putting down the contrast paint to help her paint the skin tones, and she's using a lighter brown and a darker brown. And I recommended using a purple because of shadow and different skin tones and colors.
Contrast paints for the win.
They're bad.
The only thing I use.
I think there's also a pink over there, contrast paint.
Also, there's people that treat their enemies worse. Does anybody treat their people worse than sisters?
Well, last week we
People
found
will.
out that
If you end up on them Arcoflagellants or Repentia list, you deserve it.
I mean, kind of. You could like literally jaywalk and end up in a freaking penitent engine.
You deserve it.
I didn't know it was Inquisitor Eloise was on the spot.
Oh man, you ate those shellfish or you wear mixed fabrics. You're in trouble, man.
How dare you? Have you heard of
Fear the
chaos?
Let's see. I know last week we determined that everybody wants to put Brad into a dreadnought when he dies, but I don't know. Being turned into an Arcoflagellant seems pretty bad too, Brad.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of those are pretty awful. Penitent Engine's bonkers. Mortifier, Penitent Engine, even the Repentia. Like, it's not exactly like life's great. They're not drinking pina coladas.
It's not a bad treatment. They just have anger issues.
Yeah, also, well, let's be honest, servitors on every part of the Imperium is bootylicious. Like, and it's often like you're just like doing your job and someone's like, you know what, it'd be awesome if you did your job better by having no free will and mostly mechanical. You're like, I was literally just taking out the trash. You're like, yeah, but I think you could take out the trash better. So you're like, this
Servitors
place
are the dude with a claw.
No, servitors are like the skulls, the floating skulls everywhere.
Yeah, but servitors can be more. It's not even just the servitor. The floating skulls are a version of a servitor. A servitor is effectively any regular human that they just jack up with a bunch of mechanical stuff. But the biggest thing is they take away your ability to make any decisions whatsoever.
Oh, nice.
You're just you're a conscious automaton that does whatever you're told. You know, fun times. Let the good times roll. So yeah, and the Imperium, and this is why people go to Chaos, because the Imperium sucks to live in. It's just a night. You're like, hey, what are you gonna do today? Continue to live my living nightmare. How about you? Same, Bill. Let's do this.
Well, that's why people go to Tau all the time. So.
Well, I mean, because even though Tao's the sketchy communism, but
At least you get a farm. Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah, tell me
And
what happened at
Mindlock
work.
is the best. My programming tells me so.
What happened?
I was telling everybody that we should, if you smoke, you should put your butt in the can for the greater good.
For
And
the
one of
greater
my
good.
employee went, "It's okay, Shadow Sun."
Settle down. You know what? That's why
For the greater good.
Farsight's always cooler, because he's out smoking stogies being awesome super far away. He's eating a fat steak with a stogie out of his mouth. and
Exactly.
his super corrupted sword. What?
That's why he retired.
Lorecast Servitor episode. You know, I might bring those up again. There's just so many things in the Imperium that are just like, wow, this is awful. You're like, why do people turn against this? You're like, really? Like, I could do a book for you. Here's the top 100,000 things that suck. Uh-oh. Like and subscribe. It only took us 59 minutes to say it. Yes.
Proud of you, Brad. Keep up the good work.
Came for a drink, found a bunch of Horus clothes. Good time, would recommend. Good food might need a new name. On that note, promote your stuffs.
Promote my stuff. So we're going to be painting models and maybe having a battle report or two on the Still Frosty Gaming YouTube channel. And we'll be showing progress pictures of everything we're working on. Still Frosty Gaming on Instagram and Facebook. And if you are interested in having some models painted or some terrain build or a display board, you can reach out to me at stillfrostygaming.com.
.org.gov. You should get all of
And
those.
that is one word, no space.
The people that were dropping that, it's fantastic. 40K Lorecast. Go to the Discord, go to the page, go to the anything. Download me on literally every platform imaginable. I found out, I was so excited when I found out people were listening to me on Xbox. That was fantastic. That's a real thing. They actually had to put in the Discord how they were doing it. So I was just like, I don't know how you're doing this.
Your Lorecast is doing pretty well, isn't it?
Lorecast is doing really well. We're up to we're on point. We're almost to 250,000 downloads. We're doing well.
Oh shoot.
But have you talked about Kroot yet?
No, because we haven't talked because John hates Tau so much, and he makes it a point to say it in every episode.
But Kroot aren't Tau, so
True story. They are the coolest.
they are the coolest.
SoundCloud. There you go. Web series on
Have you
KS and
talked about
period
all
HR.
the sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Have you talked about all the good reasons why to work in the Imperium?
There's only one place you can go. You can be a salamander, or you can be a horribly awful person that murders people. There you go. Those
I
are your
think
options.
Being a rogue trader would be pretty cool.
Oh, I did a whole episode. Rogue traders are the best. That's why I haven't played the game yet. God damn it! I have it downloaded. I have to boot that up. Rogue Trader is the coolest thing in the galaxy in 40K because it can be almost anything. You can basically be Firefly, or you can be a giant army. It's everything in between. There's so many differences in the Rogue Traders, and you get into so much shit. Also, I'd like to cruise around, basically being Mal from Firefly.
Just get some of that, Tau tech and just use it. But it's okay because you're a rogue trader.
Yeah, well, you can do anything. It's fantastic. They are encouraged to go everywhere. It's crazy. At least you can drink and get drunk as a space off. True story. On that note, everyone, stay milky, and let's Queen's Wave our way out of here, which is going to be two weird hands poking out and mine.
Woohoo! Woohoo!